Before starting the video, there will be minor spoilers, so if you want to go blind into the game, go for it, but I would really recommend still watching the video since, well, do you really care that much about the story of a Mario game? Paper Mario The Origami King is not an RPG. I mean, it is, but it's not. The best word I can use to describe Paper Mario The Origami King is fun. This game is really fun, but sadly that fun is not correlated to the RPG aspect of the game. That is not necessarily a bad thing. Let me explain. When I started playing this game, I was really frustrated because I was trying to find something that isn't there. I was hoping to see some really interesting and challenging RPG mechanics going into the game. My expectations were kind of low, considering the fact that the game wouldn't have any experience, but I was still optimistic that there will be some sort of replacement, and to be fair, the game does increase your HP and strength after some boss battles, but it isn't the same. Instead, I found a bland replacement in the form of confetti. My frustration kept growing bigger when I saw the insulting level of difficulty that the battles offered. I was quite frustrated, and I really mean it. I had to drop the game for a moment and just cry. Okay, I'm over exaggerating a little here for dramatic effect, but bear with me a little, okay? I had to drop the game and reflect for a little in total stagnation. I was really scared that this was gonna turn out to be another sticker star. Nevertheless, I felt the motivation to keep playing, and so I kept playing, with the hopes of a brighter game than the one these few hours of gameplay presented to me. And to my surprise, that's exactly what I found. After gulping my resignation, I tossed aside my feelings towards the RPG aspect of the game and focused on everything else, and oh man, I started having fun. I think this is genuinely the best Paper Mario we have gotten ever since Super Paper Mario for the Wii. The Paper Mario franchise has been really kicked to the ground because of the bland and boring iterations of the saga we have seen lately, but Paper Mario The Origami King arrives with an amazing change of pace that has a sacrifice nonetheless. Don't get me wrong, this game still has many flaws, but I believe that this is a really great step forward for the Paper Mario games. A step forward that leaves behind the focus on RPG. It is still there, but it is not the thing that the game focuses the most on, and still it's decent to say the least. The game really shines when it comes to the adventure aspect of it. Exploration in this game is incredibly fun. If it isn't because of the hidden toads, it's because of the hidden treasures, or the satisfaction of repairing holes with confetti, or the great interactions with any character. And if it isn't that, it is the stellar beauty of the game. This game is gorgeous. This is the best looking Paper Mario by far, period. I thoroughly enjoyed every scenery unique appeal. The Autumn Mountain and its orange liveliness, or the Town of the Desert's lighting. Look at this, it's beautiful. I was really surprised to enjoy the game as much as I did. I encourage you to give this game a try. But don't go into it expecting a solely focused RPG. Go into it expecting an adventure. That's when I was able to enjoy my time with the game. I still have some nitpicks, and if you like adventure games you won't be disappointed, but if you are a heavy RPG fan, don't expect much from this. This game is leaning towards the adventure, leaving the RPG aspect aside. But once you get over it not being the new 1000-year-old door, that's when the game shines on its own. I mean, the game isn't even really classified as an RPG. The game is filled with so much diverse content. The variety gives the game a feeling of freshness that will prevent it from getting stale at any point. Even after hating on the battles that the game has to offer, I still really enjoyed boss battles. I really love the mechanics that each boss has to offer and their unique personalities, and even though they aren't hard at any point, if you aren't as dumb as I am, that is, they are still incredibly enjoyable, and along with the rich dialogues of each character and their charming personalities makes for a remarkable experience in my opinion. And before I keep praising this game, I wanted to present to you to Raycon. Raycon, I want to talk about the two bad parts of the game in my opinion. This game starts painfully slow. Seriously, it took like almost 3 hours of gameplay for the pace to pick up. And it doesn't help that we have these Navi wannabes spelling everything you need to do every 2 seconds. Fortunately, once you get over the first hour or so, the game stops holding your sweaty hands a little, and that's where the fun begins. I get why they did this. There are many kids playing this game, and I get they might need this amount of help, but come on, at the very least an option to skip Olivia's obnoxious dialogue would have gone a long way. The other major problem I have is with confetti. I have a dilemma with confetti because in one hand it's really satisfying to fix holes in the map, but on the other hand, man, it is boring as hell to collect confetti. I don't get why they did it this way. You literally have to assault portraits and that's it. That's not fun at all. You don't run out of confetti that often after the beginning of the game, but when you do, you just need to go and hit a random tree. Why? Tell me, does this look fun to you? Might as well make it infinite or make it somewhat fun to recollect confetti at the very least. The last thing that's somewhat bothering me of the game are the battles. At the beginning, battles are really boring because Olivia just won't shut up. But once you get past that point, I really found the ring mechanic to be fun. Every time you enter a battle, you need to be on your feet and get a perfect lineup. Otherwise, you are forced to get hit or you won't be able to hit all enemies. You can pay to get extra time, but that costs money and you don't have a lot. Plus, you need it for items and other activities. The thing is that the ring mechanic is the only fun part of battles. Everything else is very repetitive and not hard, just annoying. You can use items to give battles some variety, but why would you do that when the jump attack or the hammer do the same job just fine? The only thing you need to do is to hit the button at the right time to get an attack boost, which isn't hard to master. I always avoid battles if I can, but if I can, it's just a repetitive process most times in my opinion. Fortunately, you can avoid most regular enemies if you really don't want to fight them. You can also flee battles, but I don't really do so because it fails a lot for me and I end up wasting more time than if I would have just tried to kill the enemies. Now, even though this game is no masterpiece, this is still a great experience to say the least. I enjoyed how charming the story is. This is also one, if not the most self-aware game I remember playing. The dialogues of the characters are really fun and allow you to connect more with them. You can truly feel the effort that has gone into this game. One good example is the tuna scene. This is really creative to say the least, and there are a lot of situations with comedy that made me chuckle a lot. Also, the soundtrack. Man, the soundtrack is pretty good. I wouldn't say the best in a Mario game, but there are many pieces that stuck out to me and that really added to the beauty of the levels. The battle themes, Out of Mountain, this sentiment of peace, the secret cafe jazz music, even the museum background sounds gorgeous. This game isn't afraid to experiment and I love it. There's a story spoiler here, go to the minute on screen to skip it. I really like the character of Bobby. And then he freaking dies. Seriously, I didn't expect him to die. I saw the possibility, but I brushed it off very quickly. I was really surprised to see a Mario game do something like this, but I enjoyed the change of pace and watching the little bastard die. Maybe not the last one. We have some nice musical numbers, we have mini games, and we have a great sea section, a big desert to explore, and many more things I wouldn't like to spoil, like the elemental temples. The temples really remind me of Zelda dungeons, albeit a lot easier. They look really nice, have some interesting gimmicks and great boss fights. I really enjoy the boss fights and they just keep getting better and better each time. They're like an incentive to keep going because you know that a really fun boss fight awaits somewhere. The best part is that there are a lot of them as well. Paper Mario The Origami King has a lot to offer, like seriously a lot. This game is really long, you're getting a lot of playtime here, and even if it was a little long for me, I was still able to enjoy it. If this was the only game I could get in a long time, I would be more than satisfied. There are fun things to do post-game, and the collectibles of the game are fun to find if you are a completionist or just enjoy the rewards or fun dialogues and gimmicks of finding toads. I spend way too much time looking for toads. Thankfully, you can get a toad raider later on that makes the task of finding toads fair and less like hitting a random wall. Looking at you, Zelda games. But seriously, I really recommend getting this game if you are open for a different experience in a Paper Mario game and not just an RPG. I do recognize that this game might not be for everybody. The beginning is very slow, but at the very least give it a shot. You might be missing out on something truly fun. There are many mixed reviews when it comes to this game, and I believe that playing it will remove all doubt that, even though it's not a perfect game, it sets a bright future for the franchise. Hey, I want to thank you for clicking on this video. I really like talking about video games and we'll be making a lot of videos like this in the future, so I would really appreciate your support in any way. I will also be making many other kinds of videos, but I really just wanted to start somewhere. I'm really passionate about the things I do, so just expect this channel's content to get better with time. Also, my English might not be the best, but I thought it was the best way to reach a greater audience because I really like doing things and it would be a shame to not be able to grow in this platform just because I speak another language. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Thank you.